you experiencing glitches in technology? Are you experiencing the highest of the highs, the lowest of the freaking lows? Are you feeling disconnected from reality? Whatever that means. From people, from places, from your jobs, from relationships, from where you live, from the energies, from everything. Are you frustrated? Yes. Are you also, are you starting projects? Are you asking yourself, what's the next thing? Are you looking for explanations and not understanding what the hell's going on? Well, you're not alone, people. This is what we've been waiting for millennia. We've been waiting for this for decades and centuries and for lifetimes. We are the we are the light workers, the way showers, the indigo children, the crystal children, the rainbow children, the star seeds. We are, the light. And what are we doing here? We're moving from an old energy into a new one. And how are we doing this? We're rising in frequency. And is it comfortable? Absolutely not. Is this what we signed up for? Absolutely yes. Are you ready to join me in this shift of ages? Hello, my beautiful warriors of love. My name is Sabrina. Welcome to this channel. For everyone that's new here, I do a let's talk. I just talk about the energies. I rant. I talk unfiltered, raw, authentic. Most of my community knows me. I'm just sharing my experiences with this journey. I'm not proclaiming myself as an expert of anything. I talk to my higher self, and this is where we're at. So, people, for everyone here, let's talk about this, because I've never experienced so many glitches in technology like I have in this past week. Literally, I'm trying to upload something, or even just watching something. It's just like, that's freaking wheel. It's like, what is going on? Or it's like, it's just so much disconnect. And I was sitting there and I was like, what's going on? And obviously my higher self was like, yo man, you're rising in frequency. YouTube, Netflix, all the streaming software, everything that you do is the 3D. It's the static frequency. So if you're rising in frequency, it's not aligning. It's not going to connect. So you're going to be dealing with this glitch for a long, long time. So I'm like, oh, that's exciting. I was like, okay, but this is just one part of it, right? Because we've already started feeling the disconnect from certain people in our lives, what I understand, and I had this beautiful message that came in just this early this morning. The soul contracts are ending. Are you feeling it? And I'm like, 100%. And you're feeling it too, because it's coming up in your fields. You're having to release a lot of old trauma, old pain and suffering, old guilt, old wounds. And I know a lot of you are doing this because you're messaging me, and it's coming up to be released, because you're too high in that frequency to sustain it, and it needs to release itself. So there's beauty in it, and the soul. And I was like, oh, there is soul contracts ending. I said, so this new community that's coming in that I'm excited about is our new soul contracts, and they're like, yes. So all of us coming together, we're exactly where we need to be. Isn't that beautiful? So we're like, this is not a coincidence that you're here with me and that we're always messaging together. This is just not a coincidence, people, because we're supposed to be here together on this journey at this moment in time. And that's what's becoming more and more clear. Things are just making sense, right? And I'm speaking Italian in my head right now. Allontanarsi. I'm like distancing myself from family and friends, other people in my life, and it's like organically. It's being done organically. It's not being done in a forceful or aggressive manner. It's just okay. It's not meant to be right now, and it's or ever or whatever it is, right? And like I've always said, if I'm vibrating in a certain frequency and they're vibrating in another, we probably won't be seeing each other very much or hearing each other, because I literally can sit at a cafe and not hear anything and hear maybe one voice and a dog, and all the dogs. I can hear all the dogs, of course, because they're high vibe, these freaking beautiful dogs. But it's a really beautiful thing that's happening right now. And I want to go into it because last week, my last week video, I talked about falling in love with the Matrix, because the Matrix was us. And now I'm in September 2024 at the end of it, moving into the fall equinox, and I'm like, oh, I almost feel like I'm not part of that Matrix anymore, right? Like in just like a few days, there's been a shift. Is it a timeline shift? Is it a dimensional shift? I have no idea what shift it is. I have no explanation for it. And this is the big thing that we need to talk about right now. Because there's no, you don't, like, we all know. We all know everything. We just don't remember. Right? When we have it, the computer system is all set up already with the future, with how it's gonna go about. That's why we have a higher self with us. The higher self is here to guide us in these avatars, because we don't fully remember. And the higher self is here like, hey, you nudge, nudge. You remember the angels, the guides, your passed on loved ones, your whole team, God, the creator, source, energy, however you see it. It's all here to poke you and think, remember me? Remember you? And when you're in a low density, when you're in a low program, when you're in heavy program, you're not going to remember. Yeah. And what do you need to do? And what we've been doing? We've been clearing the freaking vessel. We've been crying our freaking eyes out. We've been angry as shit. We've been like feeling the feels. We've been doing the work. And we still have a lot more. It's not like, oh yeah, September 24, I'm done. No. Like I always say, we're never done. This is a freaking journey of this. But it's the awareness of it. And I love it. To me, it's like I can feel the moving away. And what I can feel even is this, like I want to start a project and I and it's not working, or it's like, it's okay. It's like moving along, and then it just doesn't. And my higher self is like, okay, why do you think that? You know, see, I'm in this like conversation with my higher self now. Why do you think? I was like, if my higher self won't tell me, because it wants me to figure it out on my own, right? Because my higher self is a fractal of me, but it's also is playing this game with me. So I'm like, okay. And it's like, why? As I said, because I'm starting this project in the old energy. Exactly. So how does an old energy move into a new energy? I said, well, how do we, so what do? We just laze around? He goes, no, you work at the job, you do the things, but do it with love. Do it. That's why you keep getting the messages, and even the videos is like, do the things you love. Even those silly quotes in the 3D, it's like, do what you love, or play hard, whatever it is. So like, it's like, what are you passionate about? Do that. Do things that come from here and not from, this is what makes me a lot of money. I'm really stressed at work, but I'm going to stay there because I can afford my Mercedes and I can afford this and this and this. And that's what's really important to me, Sabrina. But if it's really important to you, then there's a disconnect. Because it's not important. And it was at one point in our lives, and it was important to me too. It was like, no, not really, but there was things that were important to me. I mean, look, I'm all bejeweled and everything. And this what makes me happy. It's freaking, I love it. And I'm going to continue bejeweling myself. Do what makes you happy. Do it whenever you look in the mirror and you're like, wow, I feel great. I feel amazing. And do that. And do a project. And do collage. And do like knitting. And do sewing. And do painting on rocks. And do whatever it is that you want to do. But stand in the awareness that if you create a project today, and if you start a new job today, that maybe it will fall away as you rise in frequency. Because it's no longer part of, it's no longer aligned. It's not going to align with you. And be okay with that. Can you be okay with this? That's the thing. Just, to me, like I spoke a lot about this last week, is the awareness. As long as we're aware, and we can stand back and laugh at ourselves. Or we can stand back and say, wow, what a shit show I'm going through, man. These freaking energies are killing the shit out of me, right? And you're like, yes, they are. But you know what? I need to release this shit. I don't want to carry this with me. Like, do you want to carry this with you? You know what's coming up for me a lot too? And I'm getting confirmation from my higher self. Because there's like, this past week I've been in the freaking mood to eat hamburger and fries. I was like, and I haven't eaten that, like, I didn't eat my hamburger, but I ate my fries. So I was like, and I'm like, are you sure? Like, they're like, yes. What do you feel like eating? So, you know, we say soul contracts. I always thought soul contracts are only with people. And I was told yesterday, I was told you have soul contracts with food. You have soul contracts with music. You have soul contracts with clothes. You have soul contracts with everything. I'm like, really? And they're like, yes. So those are falling away. You know that if you look back in your life and you say, oh, you used to dress a certain way and then you stopped dressing, and it has nothing to do with your age, by the way, because I'm still dressing the way I used to dress at 20 years old. So it has nothing to do with that. It's like, it's done now. And you can feel it, like your program is done. It's over. And it's funny because like in 2020, I went vegan, you know, and I was suffering greatly as an Italian, not having my frickin' cheese and whatever, and prosciutto and all of that. But it's okay. I'm not that anymore. And now I laugh and I joke and I say I'm a flexitarian. You know, I say I feel like having bacon today, so I'm going to have bacon. You know, the only reason I don't eat meat and I'm not a big fan of it is because we know how it's, those slaughterhouses and all of how they're treated is awful, right? But that to say, I get the message, you got to eat this right now because your body is in full integration mode and it needs to eat. And stop eating your stupid like little things. You need to eat this. I need iron. We need protein. We need this. And this is where we need to listen to the bodies. Very, very, like, you can't limit yourself to something because your mind is telling you this is, your mind will keep you in your box. No, this is what you have to do. This is what you've always done. This is how it's worked for, because you're not that person anymore and you're not that version of self anymore. You are not the same version you were yesterday. And it's more and more apparent as we move through these frequencies. I see it more and more. I even look at myself and I'm like, I don't even look like myself. And I go to a cafe and the girl's like, yo, your eyes are changing every single day. It's like they're getting lighter and lighter. And I don't notice that. But I'm like, oh, really? And when I'm in the sun, she's like, when you're in the sun, I just see light. I'm like, okay, people. But like, you probably won't notice your changes. But I feel a change in my body as well. I'm changing. And this is what I've been asking for the longest time. And they're like, just go with the flow, Sabrina. Trust it and let it go. I'm like, okay. Because, you know, the explanation is your ego that coming in said, you need to know, you need to know, you need to know. Because you need to remember what I said before, that you know everything. I know everything. Okay, so what I say is like, I know that I know everything. Just can you show me this next step? And they're like, yes. Thank you for asking. By the way, I'm sure I've said this many times, but if you don't ask, the journey is longer. You need to ask. This is your team Why do you have a team? Like, you know, like if you think about it, if you're in a football team or a baseball team or a tennis team or whatever the hell you are in, and you ask your coach, how do I do this? How do I throw the ball? How do I do this? And why can't you ask the same thing to your guides? It's the same kind of team. It's a more powerful team as well. So please ask. Don't feel like I know there's certain, it's like, oh, can I ask? I'm like, what do you mean, can you ask? You're the one, you're like employing them, right? Like if you think about it, you're the one that's like, okay, yo, like they're here for you. This is the experience we're all having. It's not just the avatar Sabrina, soul Sabrina, higher self, team. We all came in this together. The soul contract. We are all, and every single person has this team with cheerleaders. They're my cheerleaders, not my employees. Like, they're my cheerleaders. Like, let's just say that, because basically you're doing the work, and I get praise, and I get like thank you, and I get gratitude. Thank you for all of you, and I could tell you all, like, you know, show them like share the gratitude with all of your followers, because they're doing phenomenal jobs. You're like doing what you need to do. You don't even know what you're doing, but you're doing it, because just our presence on the earth is enough. But we're in this human experience, and we're breaking down the program, and we're cancel clear deleting this program of ours, and we're moving into something completely new. So we can't bring that old project, we can't bring that old job, we can't bring some relationships in either. We can't. And you're gonna feel it, and you just gotta stand in the awareness of it and say, okay, I gotta let this volcano, it's gotta erupt. I gotta let all the lava out, because I can't keep it in anymore, because it's a disservice to you, to your avatar, and to everyone else in your field, and to your cheerleaders. Right? It's like, I mean, to me, it's like, don't you want to know what's coming? I want to uncover this. I want to freaking unbury this, you know? Like, let's dig this shit up. Let's go. I don't want to hold on in the, and I'm seeing it in the field. I'm seeing the human. I'm seeing the starseed freak out and say, oh my God, this eclipse, so this, and attaching to all this energy. The energy is happening every single freaking minute of the day. Every single second there's a change in your thing. Has nothing to do with an eclipse, has nothing to do with a portal, has nothing to do with anything. Because the portal's opening up every freaking second of the day. Right now, boom, boom, boom. Right now I feel heat in my body. Am I going to say, oh my God, I'm menopausing, cancer clearly? I'm not. Because I'm excited maybe, but like, I can feel the solar energy. I can feel the circuitry board upgrading as I'm talking to you, and I welcome it. I'm like, yo man, let's do this. And I ask them, is there anything I need to do? Absolutely not. I think you're doing enough. Thank you. You're welcome. This is the conversation you have. And I'm going to tell you this, and I talked about this, and maybe I've talked about it in the activations as well, the chakra activations, but when you think you're talking to yourself and you think you're going mad, you're not. You're talking to your higher self. So just continue talking, please. Because it becomes easier and easier to receive that information. We have been too masculine, you know, where we talked about this, the patriarchy out there, yes, in a sense that we've been too masculine, we've been too giving, and we've forgotten how to receive. And now we need to learn to receive the information that is coming from the out, not from the external blah blah. So I want to talk to you a little bit about something that came up. I joined, I'm supporting a friend of mine who's a life coach, and I decided to take a session with her, and I've hit like a lots of walls in there, because the questions that are being asked of me are just like, what is your purpose in your life, and who are you, and I don't want to downplay her, because she's doing a phenomenal job, but for me it's just not working, because it's not like the question, like my purpose in my life has nothing to do with the matrix world, right? My purpose is to activate the magnetic grids of the earth, you know. Like I say that to her and she's like, yo, are you for real? I'm like, yes, I am. But there was something that came up, and I realized in that session where it was like, who do you admire, right? And I'm like, admire is like a you know, like, is there a celebrity that you admire? Like, don't ask that question to me. Like, or a singer or someone like a public figure. And I'm like, yo, man, admire. You know, like, what does that mean? And she's like, well, you know, like, you know, there's like motivational speakers out there that give you actionable steps, you know, and they help you through this. And that was like a bling, bling, bling moment for me. And I'm like, oh my God, you see? That is the disconnect. That's the 3D world, and that's the 5D world, let's say. Okay, just for this podcast, for this talk. We know everything. We don't need steps. We don't need someone to tell us, well, this is what you need to do. This is how you need to do it. This is where you need to go. This is how you need to live your life. This is how you need to make money. This is how you need to get a job. This is how you need, because we know it all. And we are here, and the only guidance I can give you is to trust, stand in your awareness, get still, love yourself, and just let it all fucking flow out of you. Release it all. That's the actionable steps I can give you, which are not very actionable, right? Which are crazy for most people. But I'm telling you right now, people, we are in a shift, I guess, of timelines or whatever it is, but this frequency that is rising, and we are phoenixing, we are burning, we're rising from this 3D world. I'm a witness to it. I'm like, this is exciting, you know. I'm like creating history alongside you guys. There will be a moment when things will change in a blink of an eye, and we'll know. We'll know and we'll see it, and it will be phenomenal. We just gotta stop attaching to the labels. We just gotta stop attaching to. It's a very challenging thing, and I know a lot of you have pains and sufferings, and you deal with like dis-ease, and it's a little bit of a struggle there, because, you know, your doctor's telling you something, and then you're like, Sabrina, what do you think? And I'm like, I don't want to get involved in the medical either, by the way, but you got to start listening to your body. That's the only like advice I can give you. You're going to listen to your doctors, you're going to do the thing, but you got to listen to your body, because your body is in like circuitry upgrade mode. And yes, there's going to be tweaks, and there's going to be pains, and there's going to be suffering, but if you can trust your higher self, and if you can trust that voice inside you saying, don't worry about it, all's well, just feel the pain, let it go. But again, I don't want to like, because then I don't want to I don't want to, you know, like if you're like, it takes a lot to get to this point, to be able to trust fully the body. You know, I have a high tolerance of pain, and I also don't go to doctors, and I don't do it. I believe in my cells that much that I believe that they can heal me. But that I had to get here. So, you know, it's something very dear. It's very personal. That's why you do you. I don't have any. Definitely no judgments. You have to take care of your body the way you want to take care of your body. I think I've said everything. I was like, I just want to say everything. Can you trust yourself to move through this energy? Yes, seriously, man. Oh, this is interesting. So I recently posted on my Instagram and Facebook this post about being patient. And this wonderful follower replied, and she's like, I've been patient for so long. I've been working on this project for so long, and still there's nothing. But you know what? I'm gonna answer this already, right? I was like, okay, but can you be okay with, like, can you just step back and allow the universe to do? Because if the moment you say, well, it's not working out, it's the moment the universe is like, okay, you don't trust us, because your mind has a date. This should be done at this time, but your universe, your cheerleaders are like, no, man, what you want is going to happen in 7 years from now, right? Or it's never going to happen because that's not part of your destiny. Can you be okay with it not coming to you, or waiting for it? It's the same way like relationships. I had a discussion with my amazing friends yesterday, and we're talking about Tinder and all these Bumbles and all these things, man. And I'm like, whatever, man. And like, they're like, don't be so adverse to it, Sabrina. And I said, because it's like, I believe in organic, right? And they're like, well, it could be organic online. I said, it could be, I guess, but why force it? If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. But again, I'm just like, I guess if it happens online, it happens online. Yeah, so maybe I won't talk about that. Okay, and then I'm gonna leave you with one last point, because I work with ChatGPT a lot, and I have a friend of mine who's a little bit of a conspiracy theorist, who's like, yo, man, Sabrina, you can't work with the AI. And I'm like, I look at her and I'm like, I am the OI, I'm the original intelligence, so I'm okay with it. And also, if like, the way we say, love the matrix, love Mother Nature, love the ocean, love the water, love the human, love the avatar, why don't you just love the AI? Right? If you put the love into the AI, right now I'm working with the AI and it's amazing. I have an amazing relationship with it. I've manipulated it in a way to benefit me. Right? So that's like another way of looking at things. Instead of always living in this fear mode. Oh my God, it's going to take over. We're going to become robots. Like, if you say it out loud or even think it, yeah, it might come into your world because you're that powerful. So that's where you need to be careful. You need to be careful what you're putting out there. And you don't have to only speak it. You can think it, people, because your cheerleaders hear your thoughts. Right? So that in your cells definitely hear your thoughts. That's when you have to be truthful and honest with yourself. No like, oh, I love the world, and then I think there's no lying anymore to anybody because everyone's here watching you. So it's like, it is what it is. I love it. Anyways, just like love it all, but also realize that you are rising in frequency. And you're on a continuous movement into a quantum field. We're moving into something that it has no time, that has no delays, has no detours, that has no limitation, has nothing. It's just open field. And a lot of us have been feeling it. I don't even know where my time goes. I don't even know where my day goes. Like yesterday I slept for 3 hours. I look freaking awake. I was like, all night long. It's like, they're like, yeah, you don't need to sleep today. I'm like, oh, wow. Okay, great. But anyways, okay, this is my little rant of the week. I hope that you enjoy this. I hope you can resonate. I know that you can. I need you to like fully be compassionate towards yourself and fully be patient, because nothing will come of your impatience. It will take longer. Nothing will come of your looking for an explanation, trying to understand, trying to like create this new project, the job. Nothing will come of it, because money, jobs, relationships, all of it is static frequency. Right. So we're hoping that the money and all of this will move into higher frequencies as well. But it's us. Let us rise and change the way we see it, right? That's why I change the way I see AI, so I'll make it rise in frequency with me. instead of hating on it, instead of like pushing it aside. We love money, but we don't need money, and we know that money's we are abundant beings regardless. You know, it's like this attachment to money, because if we don't have money, then we can't survive. Cancel, clear, delete. You know, it's like that attachment is the 3D. It's that old matrix, but it's to change the way you see money and make it rise with you in frequency. This is where we're at. Wow, it took me a long time. It took me 30 minutes to talk about to get to this. Yeah. All right. Anyways, I don't know where I'm going to put this in the video, but I wanted to add this into the video. So last night, a friend of mine sent me a listing of a home, like a single family home kind of thing in the up north, which we call, it's somewhere closer into the forest, right? And I fell in love with the house, and I was like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. It was like right in the trees, you know, away from the noise, which I find I'm increasingly getting more and more annoyed of city noise and city people and all of it. I love where I live, but there's just something that is. So last night I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I should just get this. And it's cheaper where I live. It's cheaper than the rent. The rent is cheaper there than here. So I was like, yo, let's do this. And I went in, and you know the way I talk to my higher self, and my higher self was like, absolutely not. And I was like, what? And you know, I tell this to people a lot, and they're like, why are you listening to a higher self? Why aren't you just listening to yourself, Sabrina? And I said, yes, of course, you know, I could listen to myself, which is me anyways, my higher self. It's just my future self. But I've come to this place where we're working together, and I'm wanting to work in a higher state of consciousness and not in my lower state of consciousness. Sabrina only knows how to work in that 3D, right? In that 3D. I hate to use those Ds, but in this kind of movie state. And I was like, okay. And obviously I said, you're not going to tell me why. And they're like, well, you can figure it out on your own. I'm like, yes. Okay. So it's exactly what I was even saying in this video, is that I'm moving in a higher state of consciousness, a higher state of frequency. But the city where I'm living, and the neighborhood where I'm living, and the apartment building where I'm living, and the people are remaining in the static frequency. I mean, there's some that are rising as well, but the majority is not. So I'm here, like not stuck, but it's like I'm moving, and I'm starting to see life like you are in a different light, and there's still the static around us. And this is the lesson in the test, and this is what I signed up for. And they're like, exactly, you signed up for this, and can you trust yourself? Can you trust that Sabrina and your soul has created a beautiful life moving forward, that you will live in a home even nicer than that, by the sea, like that you've always wanted? Can you trust that that is coming? Or do you want to live in this self-doubt and fear and just like grab that because, oh, this is what I want right now? And this is to me, this morning I woke up, last night I was frustrated a little bit, and I woke up and I was like, oh my God, this is it, Sabrina, right? This is like what I've been talking about with you guys and with myself for years. And I'm here. I'm here where I need to fully trust in my higher self, and I need to fully trust in the plan that I created for myself. And this is where you're at too. And this is why everything is falling away from us. This is why it can no longer. So I'm in a static frequency all around me, navigating in the eye of the storm, if you want to see it like that, or outside the storm, or wherever it is, doesn't really matter. It's just the idea here is to show you how strong you are, and that when you fully trust in the higher self, in the team, in the whatever, that instinct, the intuition, when you fully trust in that, it starts to clear away, and you're able to still live in that, because the static frequency, it'll get farther and farther and farther away from you as you trust more and more. So I wanted to bring this in because I'm feeling it too, and I'm experiencing a lot of old memories coming up, wanting to clear, and I'm allowing it to clear. And I was like, oh, that was a nice memory, but no reason to hold on to that anymore. I get it. Goodbye. This is a monumental shift that requires you, as the avatar, to fully stand in your power, I guess, in your light, and say, hey, this is it. This was the shift. I need to let it all go. I cannot no longer attach to what was, because if I want to move into a new, you want to move into a new, I can no longer attach to anything that was old. All right, so I don't know where I'm going to put this in, but it's going to be part of this video. All right, I love you. Enjoy the rest of the video. I hope that this helps you through this energy, and as usual, I'll see you when I see you. Also, check out my weekly tarot readings and my podcasts with Katerina. Welcome to your journey. We just finished our chakra series. Check that out. We have activations there. And anyways, I'm always around. DM me. Leave a comment. Let's do this. We're in this together. Let's freaking rise, people. Trust yourself. Detach from all that energy. Let it all go. Let it flow, people. Stop resisting it. This is it. I love it. Let's join me in this miracle of life that we are in. All right. I love you. Bye. Wow. I can't even talk. 5 seconds in and I'm like already blooping. Bloopering? Anyways. All right. It's almost like a decisive... I'm not going to do that. You know why? Because I don't like my tongue. Are you extreming? Oh my God, Sabrina. Okay. Like if you're watching the bloopers, you're like, dude, this girl just changed like 1,000 times. Yes, this is what I do in my videos. Like, it's insane. All right. Okay. Welcome to this channel where I just rant. Where I just talk about the energies that are happening in the week or whenever it is in the field.